everybody, and welcome back to another Kitbash. I am this time doing Gabriel Seth of the Flesh Terrors. He is their chapter master, and he is known for his brutality. In this Kitbash, I'm going to be using a couple different references to create my model. One is the artwork from the Trial by Blood cover, and the other one is the current Gabriel Seth model. I'm going to be using those to kitbash and create this model. The current model I'm going to be using for the pose, and then the artwork I'm going to be using for a lot of the other details. So first things first, I have to get a body and a pose to start off with. Here I have 5 assault intercessors. I thought these would be the good first step to use, given that they are typically in some sort of action pose. And again, I'm going for that kind of charging, swinging the two-handed eviscerator look. So just comparing these side by side. But I did use some blue tack and just kind of played around with the different arms. I did already pick some of the arms that I was planning on using, or had an idea of what I was going to be using, so I used those to kind of mock it up and see which pose made the most sense. I ended up going with this one with his right leg up in the air. I think this kind of captured that pose, or that swing that I was looking for. Here you can see I'm using some of those arm pieces that I'm planning on using. Obviously, we're going to have an eviscerator end up on that in that hand eventually, but again, this is just kind of getting an idea of where I'm going with the pose. Once I knew that this was the torso I was going with, I wanted to take the Aquila off. I am going to be putting some 3D printed, actually FDM printed, a couple of Flesh Terrors logos that I'm going to be putting on, and obviously one of the big pieces of the Seth artwork was that he's got a big Flesh Terrors logo right in the middle of his chest. So I wanted to go with that. So I carefully make sure you're using a sharp blade, and just kind of take your time scraping off and cleaning up that Aquila, that chest Aquila. So the next main big piece was his arm. I wanted to fit that up next because that's the big piece, or it's a big focal point of this model. For this, I found the Gravis Captain, or the most recent Gravis Captain chainsword. I think his chainsword is a good length, and it's got a nice long hilt, which I think plays into this character build. The issue is that it's a little harder to convert because the arm is actually, or the forearm is part of the eviscerator blade. So I actually had to cut the instead of just cutting off at the hand, I actually had to cut all the way back at the elbow to accommodate for that elbow and forearm from the Gravis Captain's kit. It did take a little bit of cutting and then finessing, especially because I wanted to make sure that I could get it looked seamless, because I knew that this was going to be a main part of the model that people can see. So with the arm together, then I can attach it to the body. I did do a little bit of trimming on it, and then use some sprue glue to attach that to that body. And honestly, I was pretty happy with that and how it turned out. I did need to adjust a little bit to make it look a little bit better from a like positioning perspective, but again, overall, I was super happy with it and could start working on the other arm. Which both these arms came from the Primaris Crusader squad. The one on the right arm with the eviscerator was the Sword Brethren arm, and then the left arm ended up being from the model that is reaching into his chainsword. It's not the one from the actual Sword Brethren model. I found that one was a little bit small. Once I had these attached, I actually realized I kind of bit myself in the foot there. I wanted to put one of these logos of the Flesh Terrors on his chest, and so I now had to do that going over or through those the arms, which would have been much easier to do without that on there. But I was able to do it, and it turned out really nice. This next piece here is I started working on some of the shoulder pads. Um, this is the left shoulder pad, and um, the wing part is from an older Death Company kit, and it's a winged piece that you can find. I found it on eBay. I don't have this kit, but I found it on there, and it kind of has that wrapping wing around his pauldron look to it, which is what I was looking for. Again, going off of that artwork. And now I'm placing one of those FDM printed logos, at Flesh Terrors logos. I'm just super gluing that onto the end there, again to match that shoulder pauldron that we see in the artwork. This turned out really well. I think these little pieces. I'm interested to see what they look like painted up, but I was very happy with them. I can put I think I got these on Cults 3D. I did put the link to these in the description. So this is the other shoulder pad that I'm using. This is also from the Blood Angels Death Company sprue, the old one. It comes on that kit, and it's just one of the shoulder pauldrons that comes on that kit, and I think it matches exactly to what it looks like is on the shoulder pauldron in the artwork. So I ended up using this. It's just a simple cleaning it up and putting it on the model. And now that those were done, I put those on the model. Nothing really special there. I just used some plastic cement, and put those on, and it's really starting to come together. I'm starting to see the vision of what I had for it, and it's starting to look like the artwork that I wanted it to look like too. Next, I worked on his belt buckle, I guess, for lack of a better term. He's got like a kind of a winged relic or insignia on his belt. So I started to work on that. I did trim back the belt a little bit, and then I was going to use a piece from the Blood Angels upgrade sprue, but decided against it because it was a little bit too big. So I went back into my bits box and found actually the hilt of a Blood Angel Sanguinary Guard sword, and it had a very similar iconography, and I was able to kind of cut it up, trim it, and make it fit, and it fit proportionally a lot nicer. Again, as you can kind of see here, as I had my final fitment and placement. Here I'm prepping the little relic piece that goes on his left knee pad. This I got from the Blood Angels upgrade sprue. I believe it's supposed to be a topper for backpack. It's a little bit bigger than I was hoping it would be, or look, once I got it on the knee pad, but it does do its purpose, and it looks a lot like the art. So next I got to work starting to fit the head on. For the head, I just found a good bald head that I wanted to use. The head I ended up using came from the Angels of Death Kill Team starter box, and I liked it because he's kind of in the middle of a battle screen, kind of similar to the original GW model, but also looks enough like the artwork to match what I was looking for. So the next big piece was the backpack. The artwork obviously has the iron halo with the wings on it. So to start off, I used a Blade Guard Veteran backpack with the iron halo already on it, and then I had to get to work to create that wing effect. And to do that, I ended up finding using one leftover and then one I had to acquire, but they're the Chalice hand holding wings from the most recent Blood Angels Captain model. I had one again left over, and then the other one I had to get from eBay. The other piece to this is that they are not flat. They have a little bit of benditure to them, but I found that the wings themselves were pliable enough to kind of bend to straight, and they were bendable enough to get straight to put onto that back. Then once I got them pretty straight, I had to kind of cut that chalice part off, which then allowed me to have a space or a flat surface to try to combine them into the one set of wings, which I just kind of used some sprue glue to basically put together. And I'm pretty happy with that as well. I think the sprue glue will cover up the seam enough to make it look nice. To attach the wings, it was pretty simple. Once I had that piece together, I really just used some plastic glue and put it on there, and it stuck pretty well. Getting it oriented the right way was the hard part. The model looks really good so far. Here's the progress. Let's get it on a base. I went pretty simple here, just some cork for some tactical rocks and things like that. I fill in a lot more with texture paint. So the last big piece is the cape here. I got this cape. It's just one of the standard capes from one of the Sword Brethren. Could be the one from the Crusader Squad kit. I'm not 100% sure, but it pops right up there, and I think it looks almost perfect with this Seth model. Last but not least, I want to add the skull to the bottom of his eviscerator. I just took this off of an old one of the Primaris Neophytes chainswords. They have a little skull at the bottom, and I like the look of that from the GW model, so I wanted to put that on this one as well. Just a simple cutting off the knob that was there, putting this skull on there, and just kind of lining it up the way I wanted it to. And I think really it just kind of brings it all together and makes it look a little bit more specific to Gabriel Seth. Obviously I got to clean it up a little bit, but I can do that before I paint it. Here is the finished model. I'm super happy with it. I think it captures the essence of Gabriel Seth and also stays true to that artwork that we originally set out to copy. And I like the pose. I like the eviscerator. I think a lot of the iconography I could get on there, or the pieces fit, and they definitely look like they belong, which I think is good. And I love that I was able to FDM print some Flesh Terrors logos on there. I think that really sets it apart from just a regular Kitbash mini. So I'm super happy with it. Hope you guys are too. Let me know down in the comments if there's any other conversions you want to see, and as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.